everybody, and welcome to Home Health Care Tips with Mo. I'm your registered respiratory therapist. Today we have a treat for you. We're going to talk about today your Airsense CPAP machine. I'm going to show you how to use your equipment, a brief overview on the menus, and give you some tips as well on how to use your machine properly. Are you ready? Let's get into it. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to plug in our power cord and we give our machine some power here. Plug that right in through the side right there. Then we have power. On this side of the machine, this is where air goes into the machine. This is our air intake. Make sure this is not blocked by anything, otherwise your machine can overheat. Finger goes right here on the back and pops open that tray. Out comes your pollen filter. Change this filter, CDC recommends, once a month. Pop on a fresh new filter and close the lid. This is where we're going to fill this chamber up with distilled water. This has a built-in humidifier. This will get warm like a coffee pot, heats the bottom of that plate, and that's going to give you moisture and humidity. Pop open that chamber from the side, fill that up with distilled water, close the lid, and that's your maximum line right there. Don't pass that line. Insert your water chamber on the side here. This is where you insert your heated tubing. Notice that this side of the tubing has a sensor and this side does not. So this side would go to your mask, this would go to your machine. If you look right here, this is where that sensor is going to connect right into your machine. Make sure it goes in just up like that and push right in. This does turn side to side depending what side the machine is on your bed. Squeeze both sides with your fingers to remove the heated tubing. Using a standard tubing, you notice there's no sensor on this one, so this won't get heated. So make sure you attach your L-shape adapter. That goes into the machine just like so. And then the other side would go in just to your mask, just like normal. If you're using a heated tubing and you require oxygen, then plug in your heated tubing just like normal into the back of your machine. And then that O2 adapter, we're going to actually attach it to the end of your tubing where you apply your mask right here. Then that O2 adapter will either go into your nasal mask right on top or go into one of your full face masks right here on the front of your mask. If you don't require oxygen, tubing goes in just like that. But if you are a person that does require oxygen with your CPAP machine, then you're going to need to attach one of these O2 adapters. Okay, one side of this adapter would go into the chamber. Then you attach your corrugated tubing into the back of that O2 adapter, and then you have your green tubing for your oxygen, will then attach right here to the top of your machine. As you can see here, this is your main menu of your CPAP machine. It's digital, where you have to control this turn knob to go up and down to scroll through your options. If you click down here on your sleep report, you see how many hours you slept that night. You can see how many events you had per hour. You can see whether or not you had a proper seal with the mask. If you have a lot of leakage that night, then you're going to have a sad red face. You can tell the humidifier was working good or not. You have here a period of 1 month, how many days you have the machine for, how many days you use the machine greater than 4 hours in a day. And that's a very good thing to look at when you're checking your compliance. A lot of insurances want to make sure you're using your machine enough hours, otherwise they don't pay for the device. So make sure you wear your machine a minimum of 4 hours a night or more is preferred. But that's a good way to check to see whether you're staying compliant or not. It will say 1 out of 1, 2 out of 2, 3 out of 3. If you go more down, you have average usage, use hours on the machine, leakage, and then your AHI. AHI is your apnea hypopnea index. And that tells you what level your sleep apnea is at. The way you get that ratio is the machine divides the number of hours you sleep divided by the number of events you have per hour. and that gives you that ratio. Typically 5 to 15 is considered mild sleep apnea. 15 to 30 is about moderate. Anything above 30, a ratio of 30 is severe sleep apnea. So the goal of this machine is to give you that pressure air, to keep that AHI low in the single digits. So maybe you're having just 1 or 2 events per hour, and that's a good thing. If you click on your home button here, it'll take you right back to your main menu. Up here you see my options. If you click on my options, you have ramp time. Ramp time is a feature where if say somebody has a set prescribed pressure of 8, and maybe 8 is too strong to start off with right away. Ramp feature is where you can set an auto or a timer, and the machine will start off low at a low pressure of 4 or 5, which you can set as well with your RT. And after 25 minutes or automatically, once the machine recognizes you start having sleep apnea, then the machine will go to 8. Let me give you an example. Push power here. You see our auto features on. Your prescribed pressure is 8, but the machine is going to start off at a low pressure of 4. Automatically, that 4 will then convert to a pressure 8 once it recognizes you start having sleep events. This way you don't start off at a straight pressure of 8. Over time, you might get used to your therapy, and maybe you want to start off at that set pressure of 8 or 10 or 12. Then you go to your home menu, go to ramp time. You can reduce it or shut it off completely. And now when you start your therapy, that ramp feature is off, and your machine will gradually build up straight to your pressure of 8 that's prescribed to you. My options, go down to climate control. Now, when you're using a heated climate control tubing, you have the option of auto. So this machine will automatically adjust the moisture and the heated tubing. If you want to have more control, you can switch that auto to manual. And now you see you have temperature tubing. So you can control how warm you want that air to be and how much to rain out in your tubing. And then you can go down one more, and then you see humidity level. And that's how you control your moisture. 8 is the highest you can go. 0 is off, no water whatsoever. I usually have mine on 3 and 4. Some people might require a little bit more humidity based off if they're having some medication that makes their mouth a little more drier. But you just slowly increase that moisture until you resolve that dryness in your throat. Go down one more, you see Smart Start. Smart Start is a nice option. If you click on Smart Start and turn that feature on, this machine now will turn on therapy by itself once you apply the mask and start breathing a few times. And when you take off the mask, therapy will turn off as well by itself. If you have Smart Start feature off, then you will have to manually push on and off your machine. If you go down some more, you can see there is mask. This is where you can control to see what type of mask you have. There's a few different types of masks. You have pillow mask, full face mask, nasal mask. So depending on what type of mask you have, you can click on it so the machine knows what kind of mask you're wearing. The next one down is called Run Mask Fit. You can put your mask on, hit that Run Mask Fit button. It will tell you you have a proper seal or you have a large leakage. Then you have to adjust that mask until it turns green again. Then you know you have a proper seal. Next feature is the Run Warm-Up feature. So before you go to bed, maybe 10 minutes, you can start preheating that water before you go to bed. So when you come to bed, put on that machine, put on that mask, you have that moisture right away. We're gonna stop warming though because we have no water in there right now. Airplane mode is another feature. You kind of want to leave off all the time though. If you turn this feature on, you notice up here that you have these bars, just like a cell phone. And you hit on, it cuts off and turns into airplane mode. These machines have built-in cellular modems which connect to your DME company and to your insurance and to your doctor's office. where a doctor can monitor your therapy and your data and make adjustments to your pressures, as well as your DME company can see whether or not you're having trouble with the mask or high leakage. They can check to see whether you might need a new fitting for a new mask. So usually we keep this feature off so your doctor can always look at your data. And of course, for yourself as well. If you go to resmed.com/myair, you can also go online and register your machine, and you can see your own data online and how you're doing. You can access your daily therapy and track your progress. There's tailored coaching and handy tips to make your therapy more comfortable for you. And there's badges and milestones that will help you keep you motivated as you work towards a healthier and happier life. If you go down to About, this is simply just information on your machine. You have your model number, humidifier serial number of your machine, and your internal modem as well. You see here we have AT&T on your 4G network. Hit home again, it'll take you right back to your main menu. On the side here, you do have a slot for your SD card, which can go right into here. A lot of these new machines now though, don't have an SD card anymore because of the internal cellular modem. And then down here, there's a nice feature that you can purchase through ResMed. They sell a device that plugs into here, and that device will go on your finger, and then the machine can monitor your oxygen and heart rate as well. You start therapy, and therapy begins. When you turn off your therapy, it will bring you straight to your sleep report. Sometimes you might have some air still coming out of here even after you shut off your machine. Just the machine just cleaning itself. That should stop within a minute or so. When you're not using therapy at all, hold down the top button for a few seconds. The machine will completely shut off. When you're ready to start therapy again, you simply push the top start button, apply your mask, and hit power again, and therapy will resume as normal.